Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to head back to the Emerald Grove and expose Kagha's treachery. So we'll head to the Emerald Grove environs.
Never wanted the easy path.
And into the grove proper. So we can take several approaches to this. We can try to kill Kagha. We can convince her to realize that she was wrong and change her mind. And that seems like the happiest path, so that's the one we're going to do. She's worth more experience if you kill her, and she drops a unique item that you can't get any other way, which adds additional poison damage when your character is healed. And there's a whole slew of these items. Like there's a ring that keeps constantly healing you. There's an item that increases your poison damage when you're healed. There's an item that increases your to-hit chance when you're healed. So there's a sort of a build around the constant healing effect. We're not going to go for that. It's definitely not needed. So we're just going to head down and talk to Kagha. Or Korka, I guess they pronounce it Korka. And the checks can differ depending on what disguise you're wearing. So if you didn't want tiefling options, for instance, we could get rid of our disguise. And we'll want to put our Shapeshifter's Boon Ring on to make sure we've got it. And we could pick instead the, what have we not used yet? Half Elf. Now again, we're not taking all 4 characters in here, and we're going to do some positioning before we start. So we'll take Lizelle, and Karlach and put them up on the ledge. This is a pretty straightforward fight, so we're going to be battling these 3 shapeshifted druids. And if we wanted to, we could actually shoot like darkness or another ground effect, so long as it's just hitting the mice. They'll actually just run off, and well, we'll get the cutscene to play as if they were showing themselves. They actually will have been completely scattered, and they'll never show up. But we'll just go ahead and fight them. They're not very powerful.
Swift as my feet can carry me.
Go on. Say it. You think I'm a monster?
Actually, kind of, but we're instead going to say that we know the truth.
What?
That damn nose of yours has gone poking in our business.
Mistress Ollerton, I can explain.
Shh. No need. It couldn't be helped.
Kagha, what is the meaning of this?
You think yourself quite the spy, don't you? Go on, tell him.
And we'll just give Wrath the letter.
What's in there? Cloakwood? Kagha, have you lost your mind?
Halsin is weak, Wrath. But in the shadows, we are strong. We are safe. There is no other way.
You and Halsin welcome untouchables to your midst. You defile the grove for the sake of harmony.
Ollerton speaks truth. Who among you disagrees? Who would see this grove in ruin?
The choice is made. Kagha, burn the tainted away. Start with the snitch.
As you say, Olladin.
So the fight does not immediately start, but it did definitely get very racial, and we're a tiefling. That was upsetting. But we're going to use persuasion to try to convince Kagha to stay on the side of light. Shadowheart still has Eagle Splendor on us. We can go ahead and cast Guidance. And we easily make the check.
No. You don't know what you say. In Shadow, we are purified.
Kagha's voice breaks and her lips tremble. She heard reason in your words.
And so, because we read the frescoes earlier, we can just recite them with the Bard option.
Kagha eyes you intently as you speak the text etched into the frescoes. The forest rose with claw and tooth to tear the darkness from its roots. In darkest hour a concord made, twixt harp and wild against the shade. The towers seized, the battle done, the moonrise broke the darkest one.
When the darkest hour fell, it was us that brought light. Sylvanas demands we illuminate Shadow, not hide within it. How was I so blind?
Careful, Kagha. The shadows don't forgive.
I belong to the Shadows no longer. You've no power over me.
You would question my power. Mother Earth, hear me. Grant me your wrath.
All right, and that starts up the combat, but you can see that Kagha here is on our side. So we've just got the evil druids to deal with. And we'll just try to take them out in order that they're going to go in initiative. So we'll run back to get a good shot and pelt Olladin. Now, one of the fun things about throwing is that when you throw a returning item, it just becomes equipped in your hand. So we're going to activate Frenzy. And then just throw the returning pike. We'll have to make sure that we've got that somewhere. So we'll put that into her inventory.
That's it.
And we'll do it again. And that's it for her. You see we didn't get experience, although there isn't a lot of experience for any of these three.
Victory awaits.
If we were really concerned with it, we would have made sure that we started with the warriors and then tried to finish with the archer, right? Just to make sure that the final blow, the blow that experience is calculated on, is one that's coming from us. So it looks like she's still got the Watcher's Guile in her inventory, so we will throw that. And when we look at it, we can see it's still bound, so it should just reappear in her hands.
In my best interest.
And Tavern Brawler just makes all the difference on this. So you can see that her chance to hit is much higher and her damage is higher. When Karlach gets to 8th level, she'll be able to pick up that feat. This is one of the reasons why fighters are quite a bit better at early levels, is the additional feats that they get early in. And we'll go ahead and end. This guy is not particularly threatening. If we want, we can run over and stab him.
What do I have to lose?
We could have Lizelle shoot him with the offhand attack for a couple of points of damage, maybe. Switch back to our weapon.
Where do I go from here?
And Karlak, because she frenzied, is kind of locked in, so we'll just step forward. And we'll get to see how the druids behave. Yeah, she's burning her own wolf to death. The AI is a little crazy to risk, death to run over and bite this dude. And that's true of this fight in general. Korga is kind of a nut and a bit of a liability.
No choice but to keep going.
So we've got our regular weapon now. We'll just go ahead and see if we can hit. And then, because we still have non-lethal damage, we will toggle that off. And that's it. Now, we don't need to have any further conversation with anybody in here. Brave of her to walk through her own moonbeam. We've got a little bit left to do here, so we'd like to talk to Zevlor, because there's a quest reward for ending this, and we'd like to see if we can't actually steal the idol for Maul. So, you see the druids have stopped concentrating on the ritual. So we'll break the party apart here. We'll take the leader, and that's who we're going to use to steal the idol. We'll grab Lizelle, who's got the rest of the group, and bring them up to the hideout
Just so.
and step inside. And we'll bring our main character over and stand right in front of the idol. Or I could have just misclicked completely. Alright, so down the hole, please. Back to the main character.
Is that blood?
Actually select it correctly and head over.
Still on my way.
Stealing the idol after the druids are done with the ritual is really easy. If you steal it before this point, the druids and the tieflings will go to war with each other right here in the grove. Anytime after this, you're good to go, but if you've already rescued Halsin, there's no danger. So this is the time to do it, is right after we have defeated Gorga. So we have a scroll of fog cloud. And that's what we're going to do. We'll cast Fog Cloud right here at our feet. We'll crouch down. And we'll just grab the Idol of Sylvanas. And we'll open our map and we'll jump to the Emerald Grove. We could also, if we wanted to, use an invisibility potion and run away. You do whatever we want. We'll go ahead and stop concentrating on Fog Cloud. And we're just going to come back into the grove. The area right around where the theft took place, they'll start wondering what's going on, and they'll do that thing where they wander about and say like, oh, something happened, we're not really sure. But we're so far away up over here that that's not going to happen. And either way, we're just going to go to Maul's hideout. By the time we come back to the grove, the druids will all have forgotten about the theft. Alright, so coming in, we will reassemble our group. And you can see right here what the idol is doing for us. So we're getting proficiency in the skills nature and animal handling. That's what it provides, and it does it in kind of an area. So we don't really need those.
I had a feeling you'd be back.
So we'll give her the idol.
Thanks. See you in Baldur's Gate, I hope. Now scram, before I get emotional.
And she'll give us a ring that adds 1 to armor class and saving throws. Pretty good ring. And we could wrap up other stuff here. So there's a little more experience to be had by talking to Nettie, but it's not very much. It's not going to get us the almost 6,000 that we need in order to level to 7. We do have a couple of more items on our agenda to take care of. So one of them is bouncing out to Joaquin's Rest. So the side door that we went in, we skipped and went over the roof. And there's a bunch of explosives in that room, and we can pick them up and use them for later if we would like. There's also a fire wine barrel here. And I'll just grab
What's the story?
Karlak for now. She's pretty strong, so we'll grab
For me?
Great God, Helm. Allow us peace
Saddle
on
up.
this plane of
first
power.
barrel,
Just care when we will be reckless.
and we'll just try to jump over the flames rather than walk across them. And we could have come back up as soon as we had talked to the Zentarium leader, but I didn't do that at this point, so we'll grab all the explosives now. So if you were wondering, are we running out? No, we're not. There are a lot more explosives in the game than we would use in this playthrough. And I don't know that we'll use all of these, but since they're here, I wanted to make sure that I showed you that they are here. And this is why if you come in and get caught by the guy that's guarding it and he lights these off, you're not very likely to survive. So there's a lot of explosives in here and some other stuff that we could loot. So explosives, all to camp. And let's take a look at our quest log and see what we still need to do. So we've got the crush, which we're not going to do for a couple of in-game days. Prince Orpheus is not until the next act. Free the artist. Wolbern and the Grand Duke are in 2. Save the refugees. So we will need to talk to Zevlor before we go any further on that one. Help the Spirit of the Amulet, find the Night Song, explore the ruins. This one we could go do. This is just killing the skeletons that arose when we went into the coffin, the casket area where withers usually would be. So we can, first things first, go back to the Emerald Grove. We'll talk to Zevlor and get the quest reward for saving the tieflings, and then we'll catch up with some of our companions in camp and get ready to break for the night. That's going to involve doing a couple of weird things. So on the first night that we break, Lizelle will try to kill us all because we're starting to turn into mind flayers. This is a scripted event. Additionally, Will's patron will come and visit us. So in order to prevent those events from happening, we're going to make sure that before we rest for the first night, that Will and Lizelle are dead. So we're going to make sure that they are not available to have those events happen. All right.
Moving ahead.
And at least we forget entirely what our main character actually looks like. We'll talk to Zevlor.
I should speak up.
I'm told the Druids have stopped their damn chanting. What happened? Truly, Ilmater's ashes. I never thought she would actually see reason. Thank you. We still have the goblins to contend with, but you've given us time to prepare. I need to ensure my people make the most of it. But here, left over from my soldiering days, it's sparse thanks for what you've done for us. And I'm afraid I have more yet to ask.
We'll ask what he needs.
You've bought us some time here, but the goblins are still massing out there. We'd need an army of our own to escort us safely to Baldur's Gate. And while I don't doubt your abilities, you're no army. There may be a way, though. Goblins are ill-disciplined. It's unlike them to organize so cleverly. Somebody must be leading them, bringing discipline to their ranks. Take out that leadership, and they'll scatter. It's no small thing to ask, but I've seen you fight. You're equal to the task.
He saw us fight like 4 levels ago, but we'll see what we can do.
Everyone in this camp depends on it. Thank you. We'll be ready to leave as soon as you give word.
All right, and we'll head back to camp. So in the next episode, we'll follow up and do the sort of social stuff with all of our companions. So we'll chat with them about their backstory and the progress that we've made inside of this chapter so far. And we'll catch back up. We'll take Lazelle and Will and put them out for the night. And then we'll do our first rest. I would just like to point out, like, we didn't really need to use a lot of rests, so we still have both of the short rests that are available and the Song of Rest for being a bard. Really, this approach is not particularly combat-centric, so you can see that we're getting along pretty well with just some really basic resources and clever use of materials. I will catch you in the next video. Thanks.